Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the space where truth meets power. Today, we're peeling back the layers on something that's as relevant as it is eye-opening. What evil people do when they realize you're a Sigma female. Let's get real for a second. Being a Sigma female isn't just a label. It's a way of life. It's the quiet confidence, the unshakable resolve, and the fierce independence that sets you apart. And while most people admire it, some, let's call them evil, absolutely hate it. Why? Because your very existence challenges their control, their insecurities, and their fragile egos. So today, we're not just exposing their tactics, we're equipping you with the insights to rise above and thrive. Stick with me until the end, because the last point? Oh, that one's a game changer. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join this incredible community of movers and shakers. Let's dive in. Number 1, they try to undermine your confidence. Evil people can't handle your Sigma-level confidence. It's like kryptonite to their manipulative schemes. Instead of celebrating your composure and self-assurance, they'll resort to snide remarks, backhanded compliments, or even full-blown public jabs. For example, imagine you just nailed a presentation at work. While most people would congratulate you, the evil ones might say, "Guess you're the teacher's pet now." Huh. Subtle, but designed to make you question yourself. The key here, beautiful people, is recognizing their insecurity. Your confidence reminds them of what they lack. So don't let their cheap shots rattle you. As psychologist Dr. Brené Brown famously said, "Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Your light doesn't dim theirs. It just exposes their shadows." Number 2, they spread false narratives about you. When they can't beat you fair and square, they'll turn to gossip and lies. This is classic sabotage. Maybe they'll say you're too arrogant or hard to work with to sway others against you. Take a page from history. Many great leaders, from Gandhi to Tesla, face slander when their authenticity threatened the status quo. Evil people bank on the hope that their lies will stick. But, beautiful people, integrity is your greatest defense. Actions speak louder than words, and over time, people will see the truth for what it is. A Sigma female lets his reputation stand on the foundation of honesty and character. Number 3, they weaponize flattery. Flattery might seem harmless. Who doesn't love a compliment? But when evil people use it, it's a tool, not a token. For instance, they might say, "You're so great at handling tough situations," only to pile their workload onto you. This is where boundaries come into play. As self-help guru Dr. Henry Cloud explains in Boundaries, learning to say no is crucial for protecting your time and energy. So the next time someone lays it on thick, ask yourself, what's their angle? Beautiful people, remember this. Real admiration feels warm and genuine. Manipulative flattery? It's sugar-coated poison. Number 4, they play the victim card. This one's a favorite among toxic people. They'll create sob stories or exaggerated crises, not because they need help, but because they want control. They know Sigmas are problem solvers, so they'll pull at your empathy strings. Picture this. A coworker constantly forgets deadlines and turns to you to save the day, all while whining about how overwhelmed they are. Sound familiar? The fix here is simple yet powerful. Empathy doesn't mean enabling. You can care without carrying someone else's baggage. As the great Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Number 5, they form alliances against you. When one evil person can't topple a Sigma, they call for reinforcements. It's like watching a pack of hyenas circle a lion. Intimidating at first, but ultimately ineffective. Why? Because while they're forming alliances, you're sharpening your focus. Let them talk. Their actions only reveal their weakness. A true Sigma operates on a level where groupthink can't reach. As author Robert Greene writes in the 48 Laws of Power, isolation is dangerous, but independence is power. Stand tall, beautiful people, because a lion doesn't fear the opinion of sheep. Number 6, they mimic your persona. Imitation is supposed to be the sincerest form of flattery, right? Not when evil people do it. They'll copy your style, your mannerisms, even your ideas, all in a bid to steal your shine. But here's the thing. They can't replicate what makes you you. Authenticity isn't something you can fake. It's the way you carry yourself, the decisions you make, and the way you think. Beautiful people, let them mimic. A Sigma male's originality is a standard they can't match. 7. They test your boundaries relentlessly. Boundaries are kryptonite to toxic people. They'll push, manipulate, and guilt trip you into bending, hoping you'll give in. For instance, a friend might borrow money once, then keep coming back, each time with a bigger story. Or a boss might ask for one small favor that spirals into unpaid overtime. As therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab writes in Set Boundaries, find peace. Standing firm isn't selfish, it's self-preservation. And beautiful people, remember this. Every time you enforce a boundary, you're teaching others how to treat you. Number 8. They compete with you secretly. Evil people can't resist turning everything into a competition, especially when they see you, the Sigma, walking around with your effortless swag. Here's the kicker. The competition is entirely in their heads. They're playing chess while you're playing, well, nothing. You're just living your life, and that drives them nuts. Picture this. You casually mention you're learning to play the guitar, and suddenly they're talking about how they're starting a band. Or maybe you hit a gym milestone, and the next day, they're flexing about their world-class fitness routine. It's laughable, really. Why do they do this? Because your presence highlights their insecurities. Dr. Carol Dweck, a leading psychologist, explains in her work on the growth mindset that people with a fixed mindset see others' achievements as a threat instead of inspiration. Instead of leveling up, they're busy playing the "I'm better than you" game. Beautiful people, let them exhaust themselves. The Sigma female doesn't compete with others. He competes with yesterday's version of himself. While they're busy comparing, you're busy evolving. Like Will Rogers once said, even if you're on the right track, you'll get run over if you just sit there. Let them chase their delusions while you chase greatness. Number 9. They exploit your lone wolf nature. The lone wolf trope. Evil people think your independence is an Achilles heel, but joke's on them. It's actually your greatest weapon. They'll try to spin your solitude as isolation, thinking it makes you an easy target. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Let's get real for a moment. You're a Sigma, so you thrive in your own company. While they're squawking in their little gossip circles, you're out there plotting your next big move. It's not loneliness, it's strategic solitude. But evil people, they'll misinterpret it. They'll say things like, "Don't you get lonely?" Or, "You need people to succeed." And sure, connection matters, but as Albert Einstein, an ultimate Sigma in his own right, once said, "I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity." Here's the deal, beautiful people. Being a lone wolf doesn't mean you're alone. It means you're selective about your pack. You know the value of your energy and refuse to waste it on people who don't deserve it. So while they're trying to exploit your independence, you're busy using it to build empires. Number 10. They challenge your values. Evil people love to play tug-of-war with your moral compass. Why? Because your unwavering values shine a light on their lack of integrity. They'll try to drag you into compromising situations, hoping you'll slip. Think about it. Have you ever been at a party and someone tries to pressure you into doing something you're not comfortable with? They'll say things like, "Come on, don't be boring," or "It's just this once." What they really mean is, "I feel better about my bad choices if you make them too." But here's the Sigma difference. You don't bend to fit in. Your values are like a lighthouse in a storm. Steady, reliable, and unshakable. Philosopher Soren Kierkegaard once said, "Once you label me, you negate me." Evil people want to put you in a box, but your integrity makes that impossible. Beautiful people, never forget this. A Sigma female doesn't just talk the talk. She walks the walk. Your values are the bedrock of your life, and no amount of peer pressure or manipulation can erode them. Stand firm, because every time you do, you're showing the world what true strength looks like. 11. They fear your growth. Here's the ultimate truth. Evil people fear your potential. Your growth is their greatest threat because it reminds them of their stagnation. Every move you make towards self-improvement feels like an attack on their ego. Imagine this scenario. You decide to start waking up at 5 a.m. to meditate and work out. Suddenly, your enemies are rolling their eyes, saying things like, "Oh, look at Mrs. Perfect over here." But deep down, they're panicking. Your progress exposes their lack of effort, and it terrifies them. This isn't just anecdotal. Dr. Jordan Peterson, in his book 12 Rules for Life, explains that people often feel threatened by others' self-betterment because it highlights their unwillingness to change. Evil people don't hate your growth because it's wrong. They hate it because it's right. Beautiful people, here's the takeaway. Don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Your growth is your superpower, and their fear is just proof that you're on the right path. Keep leveling up because, as Arnold Schwarzenegger famously said, strength doesn't come from winning. Your struggles develop your strengths, and your growth, it's not just for you. It's an inspiration to everyone watching. And there you have it, beautiful people. The 11 things evil people do when they know you're a Sigma. Here's the takeaway. Evil can't dim a light that refuses to flicker. You are unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably powerful. If you felt this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join this movement of self-mastery. Together, we'll keep leveling up and living life the Sigma way. Having said this, stay strong, stay authentic, and stay winning. See you in the next one.